don't give a, I don't give a, I don't give a, I don't give a about you or anything that you do. Don't give a about you or anything that you do. Got a million things on my mind, executive deals on my limited amount of time, chasing these dollar signs. You ain't on your grind. You can find me up in the MGM casino in the G. Hey everybody, how are you doing today? Hey CC, hey Young Riaz, hey Melly Mel, hey CC and Uncle L. How y'all doing? How y'all doing today? This is my theme song, y'all. Y'all doing okay? Everybody having a good Friday so far? You having a good Friday? Hi, Ace. How are you, sweetie? Okay. Hey, Empress. Thank you, Lon. I appreciate it. Yeah, these folks, they are strange. They are strange. Hey, Shay. How are you, sweetie? Yes, thank you. It just came on the top of my head. Yeah, because that's what I see. A lot of stuff that's going on. It's some displaced anger. Thank you, Cece. Hey, Nark, how are you, sweetie? I'm just glad that you guys came uh to see me for a few minutes. Like I said, you know me, I ain't gonna hold you long. Thank you, Cece. I don't know where Cheeky is, but I'm glad that you guys are here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Like I said, I cam up for me, not camming up so that I can have certain people's attention. Like these people. Farmer Nancy, I had your song on. Yes, I had your song. Let me see. It come back on. Look, I think that was Big Sean. That's my song. I like that song. See, Farmer Nancy, this the song, guys. I got the clean version, not the cussing. Okay, thank you, Lon. Texas girls. I got a million trillion things I'd rather do. Yes. Than to be with you. Little stupid ass. I don't give a. That is my theme song, honey. Me and Farmer Nancy. That's our theme song, honey. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, I love that song. So I appreciate you guys for coming in. Can I get a blue jacket when you get a chance, Selena? I really don't know what that is. What's a blue jacket? I'm a little slow in the YouTube world. Can you tell me what that is, Ace? So I'm just glad that you guys came at this last minute. Like I said, I wasn't going to do a live today, but I was just like, you know what? I'm finna do it. Oh, well, I appreciate you, but you know, right now I think I have enough mods, and I don't know, are you a new subscriber? I have enough so far. And plus I can't even do it anyway. I don't know how to do it on my phone because my computer is still out of commission right now. So I don't know how to do it on my phone, to be honest with you. So I'm sorry, but I still appreciate you coming by. And yeah, I appreciate everybody for coming by. Thank you so much. Now I'm gonna go back into my shell. Oh, but you know, for the people that say I don't cam up, I cam up. You know, thank you, Ace, for being understanding. I really appreciate it. Just gonna talk about how a lot of people, and you know, I have experienced some things in my life where a lot of things that I've been through in my past, like we've all had some type of, I would say, I don't know if it's trauma. Some people have had really major traumas in their lives. Some people have, yes, please push the like button, I would appreciate it. Some people have had a lot of traumas in their life, and it causes them to be the dysfunctional person that they are. To be honest with you, all of us have some type of dysfunction, right? Oh, okay. Some of us have a part of us that is dysfunctional, right? And it's because of some of the things that we've dealt with as a child, even until adulthood. The worst thing is having a lot of different issues in your childhood and not dealing with them. A lot of times, a lot of hurt people struggle with anger problems. Thank you, Melly, for putting people's channels in the chat. Thank you, Ace. If you have any channels that I'm not aware of, please put it in the chat. I would appreciate it, and let us Melly know so that he can put it in the chat. So a lot of us deal with certain things in our lives that has is a result of our upbringing, our childhood. And when we have issues that are not dealt with, it leads to that dysfunctional adult, right? And a part of being hurt is you were before you were angry, you were hurt, right? Hurt feelings unchecked. Hey Larry, good to see you, sweetie. Hurt feelings or a hurt person that has been unchecked, it leads into a lot of anger. And sometimes that anger is given to the wrong person or persons. I remember when I was growing up, I had a lot of anger, but it was more hurt because of certain things my father would do, right? Hey, Don, certain things my father would do that would really upset me, that would really hurt me. When I started to get in my late teens up to my early 20s, I was a very angry person. And some of the people that were just trying to help me were the people that I ended up lashing out on. When I lashed out on people that were trying to help me, it affected my relationships with them, right? And when I figured out in my mind that I was actually hurting the people that had my best interest or did nothing to me, I had to do a lot of forget. I had to first forgive myself, right? Forgiving myself because at the time I was not aware. But when I started seeing my relationships around me kind of crumbled, sometimes we are the common denominator. And when we find out we are the common denominator, we learn to work on how can I be better. That's for a person that actually wants to do better and be better. But there are some people that think that they're okay and everybody owes them the best of themselves, right? There's some people that are disrespectful. They have unchecked hurt feelings. They have trauma they have not dealt with. They will take everything out on you and expect you to be upstanding. That does not make sense, but there is how some people think. Some people want the respect, they want honesty, they want loyalty, but because of their hurt feelings, they can't see that they don't give it themselves. They don't. They are constantly hurting other people because of unchecked stuff that they have had happen to them. I would say for a man, yeah, Don, when working on yourself, it's best to stay focused and positive thoughts. I would say the worst type of man, because I'm a woman and I'm a heterosexual woman. The worst type of man is a man that has mommy issues. And what I mean by that, I'm not talking about so much the mama's boy, right? Even though that could be irritating because the mama running the relationship most of the time. But at least he has an ideal of how a woman should be treated because he loves his mother. But when you have a I would say a young man, a boy that does not have a good relationship with his mother, he is very disrespectful and he doesn't even realize it. He's very ornery, spiteful, controlling, and self-righteous and prideful. Because of whatever his mom did to him, he think it's okay to do other women in that same manner. A lot of young men have problems with their mothers, especially African American young men. Number one, most African American young men are raised by a single mother or a grandmother. Usually, when that happens, we have some great single mothers out here. Hey, K Smooth, we have really great single mothers out here, but we have some that have came from such a toxic background, didn't have a father themselves. Their mother was trying to be young or working all the time. And they've never had a background to where they've seen any type of functional relationship or functional household. So when you got that combination and then you end up having a baby, not married, and you have a baby out of wedlock, and this man goes on about his business or whatever happens to that man, that woman is angry. She's angry at the world. And she sometimes takes it out on her baby boy. Hey, free thinkers. She takes it out on her baby boy. And when she takes it out on her baby boy, instead of her, when he does things, just discipline him, talking to him, let him understand certain things that are right and wrong and things you just shouldn't be or do, she starts abusing him. Now, I grew up in a household where you're going to get spanked, right? Some people don't believe in spankings, but it's a difference between being spanked and being beaten. And beaten to me is someone that they will use anything and they have excessive force. Right. So when you have a young man that is being beaten by his mother, she don't have time to show him no love because she got to work. She got to try to find a man that will at least want to be a daddy or a husband to her because she already feel bad because she's a single mother and she don't think that she has a choice out there. So she goes out there trying to find a man. So she's too busy out there trying to live. And then her son is dealing with the consequences of her anger. And it could be a grandmother like that. Some grandmothers are not as sweet and kind. Some grandmothers are still having that same type of attitude, trying to be younger than what she is, trying to find her way. How in the world did I get a grandchild? This ain't my child. I raised my children. Then you have that grandmother being abusive to that man child. That man child has a hatred towards women. Another thing with a woman, when you find a woman that has a problem with authority from her mother or her father or anybody she lives with, that is the worst type of woman. Why? Because she doesn't understand order. She doesn't understand that there is things in life you just cannot do just because you are a cute little girl or a pretty woman, right? You have some women, young women, that don't have fathers. So when they don't have fathers, their mother again is working. Sometimes she can be abusive. She becomes an angry young woman. She's mad at her mother and she's mad because her father is not here. She becomes very violent sometimes, or she just becomes an emotional wreck. When she becomes an emotional wreck, she poisons every relationship around her because she did not get the help that she needed as a young girl. No one reached out to her. No one showed her you are beautiful, whether you light skin, whether you dark skin, whether you white or biracial, whatever. No one told her that. So she goes out, even though she's an emotional wreck, she goes out constantly seeking a man that can replace what she never had. And that was her father. Then you got this broken little girl and this broken little boy that meet up together. They meet up together, angry, both of them angry as hell. They can't have a conversation with each other. They haven't known what it means to actually have a peaceful household. They actually haven't ever known how to communicate with each other without getting so angry with each other. And maybe sometimes in that household is abuse with each other or one party. Right, young Riz, you can still have two parents and your life feel empty. Yes, that can happen. That can happen. Yes, it can. But I'm just talking about how unchecked and displaced anger can cause you taking it out on the people that don't deserve it and the people that are close that actually love and respect you. I used to be so irritable. Hey, Metal Clips, when people would tell me something, like when I was in my early 20s, and people would tell me something, and I would just fly off the handle, not realizing that I was mad at somebody else. But because I was mad at somebody else and I didn't check that and get mad at the right person, I'm taking it out on a person that's actually trying to help me or a person that had nothing to do with the situation that I was currently in. This is where you get a lot of confusion. You get a lot of back and forth with people because, to be honest with you, most people have displaced anger. Most people are still mad at their father and why their father wasn't there and why their mama didn't show them the love that they want or needed. They still are the little girl and the little boy. They're not the grown person. We see a 25-year-old man, but he's actually a 12-year-old little boy. We see a 50-year-old woman. She is a 15-year-old teenager. I need y'all to kind of follow me. So when we are dealing with stuff that we have not dealt with, that goes for me and everybody in the whole world. Hey Liz, how are you, sweetie? That goes for everybody in the world. When you don't deal with your stuff, you take it out on the people that don't deserve it or people that actually really love and care for you and just want to see you make it and give you advice. It's people in your life right now is mad at you about what somebody did 20 years ago to them, and it don't have nothing to do with you, but you just look like that person. You just may have some similarities like a person, and they still will not like you because of what that person did to them 10 years ago that looks like you, or y'all have a same familiarity. When you start to see that about yourself, you need to check yourself. There was many times I had to kind of check myself and not take things out on my family members or friends because of what I'm dealing with. They didn't do it to you. Another person did. Deal with that and not with everybody else. It was a pastor, well, he was a preacher at my church, and he was a type of person I would say considered handsome. He was 6'3", tall, had really nice curly hair. And most of the women, young and old, they was crazy about him. You know what they say about some ministers, honey? They can be a trip. Some of them can even be like a pimp out here. They be getting these women. But anyway, um, he ended up married to someone. But then once that divorce happened, he was blaming everything on her, right? He ended up getting married again, second marriage. Everybody told him, you're rushing into the marriage. She's younger than you. I think the girl was like 10 or 15 years younger than him because at the time he was in his 40s. So I'm going to say 10. So she was in her 30s, he was in his 40s. So people said, you're rushing into this thing. You need to wait. Don't do it. She's young. She's still, and she wasn't really, I would consider someone, I couldn't, a pastor or a preacher's wife. You know what I'm saying? You could tell she was kind of out there. She was young. She was popping it. She just was, being a 30-year-old woman, right? He ended up marrying her anyway. And the people that kept telling him not to marry her, he was going off on them. He was getting upset. He was like, y'all don't know what this is my life, you know. So he ended up marrying the girl. Like I said, he still didn't deal with the situation that he had before. So he married her. He ended up in a second divorce. Hey, Captain Wolf, are y'all following me here? It's something that he did not deal with in his past, and he keeps making the same mistakes. Once he has a second divorce, the woman went off. I think she ended up fooling with a big time drug dealer, and she moved on. They ended up getting divorced. He was broken, trying to figure out what did he do wrong. Nobody would tell this guy really the truth besides, yeah, of course, wait, don't get married. But nobody was telling him like, you got some stuff that you haven't dealt with because you keep making the same stupid decision. So he ended up getting married a third time, right? At this point, somebody needs to tell a brother something, right? I didn't know him like that, so I couldn't say. But he ended up getting married the third time. But before he got married, he ended up going through some time where he was alone, where he wasn't, thinking about marriage because he had been broken from the first and the second marriage. He had to kind of go back on his life. He didn't really have a relationship with his mother, right? They kind of had a toxic relationship, and he became a womanizer. He slept with over 100 women before he became a minister. That's a lot. Like, dang. So he had not only problems with his mother, but then in turn, he became a womanizer. He had some type of anger, some type of resentment towards his mother, and he took it out on women by having sex with them, using them, you know, breaking their hearts, some that actually really loved him or liked him. He broke a lot of hearts in the process. Then he got married to a woman that maybe resembled him of his mother. They couldn't get along. Both of them were abusive to each other. Found out even the second wife, him, they had a lot of different problems and sometimes would get physical. Now he took some time away from thinking about a relationship. He ended up meeting somebody that he could settle down with. And from my understanding, they're still together today. But some things in life can be avoided if we would take the time to do some self evaluation. I can't always say, you do this, you this, you this, you that. But have I ever took the time to actually look at myself and see what am I doing wrong? Have I ever took the time to do that? I know for me, I took a lot of time, especially with the things that have happened to me on this app, because like I said, my life is less drama than on here. It's like I've never met people like this, but anyway, I've had some situation to where I had to look back and see what could I have done differently. Did I do things because of this need wasn't met in my life at the time, or that need wasn't met at that time in my life, or did what did I contribute to situations that I can not go into the next time? How can I do that? I had to look at me. I'm still kind of discovering some things, but sometimes, for the most part, you can't avoid certain things. They're just meant to happen to do whatever to get the best out of you or the worst, right? So some things you just can't avoid, but some things you can. Sometimes we add to the problem when we're not really trying to. My wife has a friend. She says her husband did the exact same thing. Correct. It might be the same people, Captain Wolf. But there's a lot of things that people don't think about. And it's like people have so much anger in them, so much resentment, so much hatred in them. So when they get a chance, instead of giving it to the person that gave them that hurt or gave them that problem, they'll take it out on other people instead of dealing with what is at hand. Take your displaced anger self, deal with the person that you actually have the situation that actually hurt you, that actually made you mad. No one can hurt us unless we actually care, right? So when we care for someone, we trust someone that what they're saying to them, so what they're saying to us, their word is their bond. We're trusting them to hold a standard, right? And when they don't hold the standard, instead of us taking our anger, instead of us taking our, I would say, our plight to them, we're taking it out on other people. Hey, Keita, we're taking it out on other people that have nothing to do with it. You have husbands and wives going back and forth with each other because they haven't dealt with something that they did, in their past. You may have had a husband or a wife to cheat. When a person has an affair, that creates a lot of distrust. that creates a lot of toxic behavior with, you know, that other person and both people, because you cannot really trust a person when they break I would say their marriage vows. Like that really destroys a person sometimes. Some people can get through it, some people can't. And that's why you have so many divorces. But you'll have a husband and a wife that's dealing with displaced anger. It could be somebody at their job. It could be their mother. It could be their father. It could be somebody else in their family or somebody closer to them that hurt them. They will take that out. They will take that out on their wife or their husband just because of what that other person did. Because this person is close to me and they'll take the pain. I'm hurting right now. I don't care who I give it to. Instead of me giving to the person that actually hurt me, I'm gonna give it to you because you're the closest one to me. You're more accessible to me. So I'm gonna do my best to hurt you because I'm already hurt. I'm already angry. So whoever can get it. That's displaced anger. Look, you're not gonna get me saying if I'm not gonna tell you something, I'm just not gonna tell you. Why? Because hey, that's my business. But if it's a situation like I was kind of talking about last night, and I said my name or someone is saying I'm doing something, and I know I didn't do something, I'm going to speak on it, but I'm not going to have any displaced anger with anyone else because like Cece didn't do that to me. Kita didn't do that to me. We got to learn who to give our energy to. And then when we give our energy, we better make sure that it's worth it. Some people that we give our energy to because we have displaced anger is not worth it. You don't have any ties with that person. So when you don't have any ties or emotional ties with a person, you're giving your energy just because you're mad to somebody else that don't know what was going on, that didn't know what was going on in the background, but you got so much energy and fire for someone that has no idea. Or if they have a slight idea, they still wasn't the effect of what happened to you. I have learned now to kind of give my energy to things that are worth it. There's some things that I will say, and I try not to say a lot of things out of anger, but some things it just needs to be said. But you better make sure I'm going to say it. I know for me, I'm going to say it to the person that I actually have the problem with, not people that haven't done anything to me or people that's trying to either resolve it or move away from it. We involve a lot of people in our mess because of what we haven't dealt with. A lot of people. Everybody has done it, and if you haven't, great. But the fact of the matter is, it happens. Hey, Channel Forbes, it happens. Displaced anger, and also displaced anger can make you look like a fool. You going at people that you don't even care about, but you going at people, and everybody around you can see how much of a clown you look. Because the person that actually did it, that's the person you should be addressing. Everybody can see you fussing and cussing, breathing hard and sweating and screaming. and you screaming and you hollering and you cussing and fussing at the wrong person or the wrong persons. It's a lot of displaced anger, and it always makes you look like the fool at the end. Everybody can see around you your problem, but you looking at this problem over here. This is not your problem, but this is your problem right ahead of you. Hey D, that's your problem in front of you. It's your problem's not over to the left or to the right because that's where you looking. That's where you cussing and fussing, but the problem is right in front of you. You mad, you mad at your daddy for not doing or being the daddy you want him to be. That's over 20, 30, 40 years ago for some people. What are you going to do now? Are you going to still blame your behavior on your daddy? Are you still going to say, I would say, blame your grandparents or blame your spouse for what they did yesteryear? Like I said, some people have a lot of stuff that they put on other people. I call them bag lady and bag man. You remember that song by Erykah Badu? Erykah Badu said, bag lady, you got all that stuff in your bag. What is all that in your bag? Hurt, anger, unforgiveness, stupidity, hatred, and a foul attitude. You got grown women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. The light skinned girl, she still has a grudge because when she was in elementary or high school, the darker skinned complected girls would mess with her. So when she sees a dark skinned woman could smile at her. She can't stand that woman. Why? Because she remembered when she was in elementary and in junior high school when the little girls would the darker little girls would bully her. Hey, Channel Forbes. So when she grows up, she's angry at the world. And she's definitely angry at all dark skinned women. She thinks dark skinned women are this or that or mean or whatever. And vice versa. There's some dark skinned women that don't like light skinned women because they remembered when they were in school, they used to get made fun of about their features. Then you have the little boy in school. He's still mad. He's still mad at his daddy for not being there. So when he finally has kids, he do the same thing his daddy did, left. We have cycles in our life, dysfunctional cycles, because we don't learn to deal with what we have displaced. When you just have displaced anger, you're not dealing with what the real issue is. You are just going and hurting people just because it reminds you of what happened to you last month, 2 years ago, 10 years ago. It is unfortunate that people don't want to deal with their bullshit. And I'm just going to say it like that. Forgive me, but or deal with their behavior, their toxic behavior. I will say for me, I'm not perfect. And I hate when people try to paint me out as something that I'm not. or if I make one mistake, then I am seen as this type of person. If I make one mistake, well, you said that and that wasn't the truth, so you a liar. You did this, so that makes you a slut. you know, things like that that people will put on you. But they forget that they are not perfect. They've made a lot of mistakes. They made some decisions that people can write them off for. But they don't give that same grace and mercy to another person. Displaced anger is not going to make nobody else around you look like a fool but you. You mad at stuff and people don't even know what you mad about. And then when you finally just be honest and tell what you really mad at, they was like, well, that had nothing to do with that person over there or those persons. And it's unfortunate that everybody sees other people's flaws, but they can't even acknowledge their own. Hey Dubs, how are you, sweetie? They can't acknowledge their own. We got a lot of grown girls and grown boys walking around. They're constantly trying to find something to blame on somebody else because they can't deal with their own bull crap. You can't get along with nobody. You got a bad attitude. And it's all because it is displaced anger that you haven't dealt with. You still mad. Well, why couldn't my dad have been here in all my life all this time? He came in my life later on. I'm mad about that. I'm still mad about that. Not me. I'm just an example of someone else. So they start acting a fool with men. They can't get along with men because they still mad about their daddy not being there. When grown girls and grown boys learn to take accountability, look at themselves, and quit putting their stuff on other people, this world will actually be a better place. But you have so many people trying to put the blame on everybody instead of sometimes looking at themselves. Like I told you, many of years, I would say when, my dad would maybe say something to hurt my feelings, and I became angry as a teenager and in my early 20s. The only person that was affecting was me. It wasn't affecting him, it wasn't affecting anybody else. It just made people stay away from me. And when I found out that my actions actually help people to stay away from me and to stay guarded with me, I knew that at the end of the day, I am the common denominator of that. I am the common denominator that I am mad and I haven't forgiven my father. When I learned to forgive my father, not only did I develop a relationship with him, but I learned to have better relationships in my personal life. To some of the women that believe men ain't ish, that's because they had a really messed up childhood most of the time, and it always results around either daddy not being there or daddy being too hard. And what I mean by that, sometimes you have daddies that don't understand you can't do girls the same way you can do boys. It's certain things you can say to girls you can't say to boys. Little girls are more fragile in their feelings, especially when it's their daddy. And when they have a hard upbringing with their father and they don't deal with it, sometimes they are kind of very guarded, very hard, masculine. And I'm not talking about in how they look, but how they come across. And they're very standoffish sometimes. So I would say, men, if you have little girls, do I would say be a little bit more kinder. I'm not saying don't be kind to your boys, but be a little not as hard. Little girls love their daddy. They adore their daddy. So they are looking for their daddy for the love and protection. So when they don't have that, it makes them a hard individual sometimes. It makes them unapproachable. It makes them angry. And when they get older and they do have a man, they don't know how to treat the man because they still have that anger at why was my daddy so hard? Why did my daddy say this? I'm not going to ever let a man do this or do that to me. So they have this guard up and they keep a man far from them. They never let a man get so emotional to them. And it could be a good man. It could be a man that actually wants to be there, wants to be a husband or a man to that particular woman. But she can't receive it fully because she still has something in her heart for her dad. That's called unforgiveness. And most of the time, unforgiveness stems from not only hurt, but it stems from anger. So I'm not going to talk too long. All I want people to realize is, as I am a work in progress, I hope that you are too. I hope that you're taking time to look at yourself and deal with yourself the best way you can. We are not going to be perfect. We are going to make some mistakes, uh, out of our anger or out of our hurt sometimes to the wrong people, but don't stay there. Do not stay there. Deal with it, whether it's through counseling, whether it's through any type of avenue that could get you the help that you need. Do it. Because when you don't, you throw away good people around you. Some people that have displaced anger, if a person does one thing to them and they find it where it's just like, oh, I just can't deal with it. It seems toxic. They'll get rid of you in a split second. But they don't realize as the mirror looks back at them, they have toxic behavior because you can't throw away people like that. Your behavior is even more toxic because you have to understand, just like you're not perfect, neither is that other person perfect. Thank you, Farmer Nancy. I enjoy you too. So we got to put the mirror, instead of us always focusing on other people's behavior, we got to sometimes look at us first. You got people they'll say you're a liar. All you do is lie all the time. And lie is their first, middle, and last name. When you, according to God in the Bible, if people go by the Bible, if you lie, you're a liar. So that means all of us are liars because all of us have lied. So, like I say, deal with you first. Deal with the person you actually mad at. Don't put that mess out on other people. Don't involve other people in your hellhole. Because most people that are like that, they're living in their own hellhole. They take it out on other people that don't have nothing to do with why they're so angry today. Mama pissed you off. Mama hurt you. Daddy wasn't there, pissed you off. Grandparents was mean. Grandparents wasn't there. The little girl, the little boy at the school was messing with me when I was a kid. I was made fun of. I was bullied. And I started taking it out on other people. That is crazy to me. Get yourself together. Deal with you. Get mad at the people that's actually did something to you. Quit transferring your energy, your negative energy onto other people because you're messy, because you have a lot of hate, because you have a lot of confusion in your life. Deal with you. Take some time away, whether it's social media, whether it's any type of thing that is a distraction to you, and deal with you. The hardest part in life is dealing with yourself. That's the hardest part in this life. Because when you're dealing with yourself, you got to face your own demons. You got to face what is wrong with you. It's some people that always point at other people. Never do they take accountability for themselves. Never do they admit when they're wrong. Can't you just say, I was actually wrong on this and I sincerely apologize without, well, you should you shouldn't have did that though. And why you do this over here? Did you ask the other person that actually hurt you that same question? I'm just saying. And people do it all the time. Again, the hardest person to deal with is you. People are living in their own hellhole, in their own misery, and they want to take that stuff out on other people that had nothing to do with why they are where they are. So, all I can say to anybody, if you have some issues with other people, look at yourself first. Do you have some displaced anger? If you do have some displaced anger, give it to the person that it actually belongs to, not to people that are not bothering you. So that is what I will say. Let's quit looking at other people for once. Let's look at ourselves first. And then when we look at ourselves first, we can look at other things, other angles, right? Because some things are caused by other people. I get that. And when they are caused by other people, like I said, give it to that person that actually caused it, that actually caused that pain. And when you deal with it honestly and learn to move on. Because holding on to anger, hate, unforgiveness, pettiness, it's only making you look like a clown at the end. People are sitting back looking and laughing to themselves about how you look so crazy, how you look so weak because you can't even deal with you. You can't even deal with the situation at hand, but the situation that you need to handle. Right. Young Riaz, they are. They're either lonely or empty. And they blame other people all the time when the problem is them. I can look at certain things and I say, okay, that was me right there. And then there's certain times I'll say, that wasn't me. And I hate when people keep saying, try to put a shirt on you that don't fit. Nobody can go in my heart and my mind to know when I'm telling the truth. Only I know that. So when people have that displaced anger and they still trying to look at your faults, you need to look at your own. Because the people that don't deal with them and they hurt and their hatred, they the ones acting a fool out here, and you are looking like the biggest clown. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, you feel it? Oh, you so yeah. Like I said, it is crazy, but people they just do not get it. They don't get it. Former Nancy, would you like to come up here? I would like to have Former Nancy if she is willing to come up. If not, I understand, but I definitely would like you to come up. I'm gonna put it in the chat. I think I don't. I've never had you up on my panel. If you would like to come in, you are more than welcome. I think I put it in there. So if you want to come up, you can. Hi, my people. I'm glad to see you. If you would like to come up, I would appreciate it. Nark, you've never came up. If you would like to come up on my panel, I would appreciate it. Let's see who hasn't been up here. Um, Whoever's still here, that hasn't came up, has never been up. I would love for you to come up and maybe um give us some advice or something that you have learned from everything. Okay, she said K 1 second. Yeah, so I hope that people understand what I'm saying. Like I said, it's all about, what you do. Quit looking at everybody else and start to take accountability. Hey, Farmer Nancy, how are you, sweetie?
I'm good. Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, the living legend. where Bob at? He usually come in with the battles.
I don't even know. I was like, I had 2.56 seconds. I was doing a movie afternoon with my honey.
Oh, okay.
We was watching that new Black Mirror, but I was like, yeah, I'll come up and say hey to you and say hey to everybody. Girl, I feel this was really good. I love your lives. Like, they make me be like, she better quit talking to me.
Yeah, it's all of us, girl. It's all of us.
But I love it, you know what I'm saying? And that's so true. You have to be able to be real with yourself, you know what I'm saying, so that you can be real with other people. And if you can't do that out loud and openly in front of a room, then you got to work on that. Like you said, you got
Right.
to work on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Keep growing. But I loved it. It was a great afternoon. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you.
I've been double dipping. I've been like watching a movie and listening with one ear.
Oh, thank you so much, Farmer Nancy. And I appreciate you as I appreciate your support. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And y'all have a good evening. You have a good afternoon
You
too.
too, Farmer Nancy.
All right.
Bye. Okay. Young Riez wants to come up. Let's see what he has to say.
Mm,
Hi, Young
yeah,
Riez.
hey Serena.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. I mean, yeah, you're right, though, in a way to focus on yourself. I know I can't say too much because I don't do too much on myself, but if I can say something that can actually get someone else to do it, then that would mean a lot more.
Okay. So have you I sometimes have maybe some displaced anger and you didn't deal with it like you should have?
Yeah,
Okay. So
I have.
how did you realize that though?
Yeah, I've actually realized it though is when how other people feel. So when their body language, their face, or like, when they walk away, I realized what I was doing and I'd apologize quickly.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Hey,
Mm.
is Tariq in here? Oh, okay. Now Tariq. Oh, talk your talk. Okay. Yeah, so that's good that you realize that um that really like you were wrong. And do you make that mistake often now, or you're more cautious of not taking it out on other people?
I mean, you say 50, I wouldn't take it out on someone though, but maybe, yeah, I wouldn't take it out on someone though, but it's a 50-50 chance since like it's a human thing though. It's not an
Yeah,
excuse though, but it's a human thing. So it's like 50-50 chance that I either do it or I don't do it.
right. That's true. That is so true. I appreciate you for coming up, Young Riez. Thank you so much. You had something really valuable to say, and it's good that you can recognize it. And once you recognize it, you can deal with it. So thank you so much, Young Griez. I appreciate you,
Yeah,
sweetie.
you're welcome. Bye.
All right. Have a good Friday, I would say.
Yeah,
All right. All right. Thank you.
thank you. Bye.
Bye. And I hope that I help someone, because as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me. And like I said, we all have our crosses to bear. We all have certain things in our lives where we are not up to par. And we have to deal with that. And like I said, the hardest person to deal with is not always other people, it's you. You know what I'm saying? So it's the person that you see in the mirror. So I want to show you something. I thought Cheeky would have been here, but she's not. Kita, would you like to come up today to talk about your products? I have your products, or you want to do it another day? But just let me know, because I think you're at work still. Let me know if you would like to come up. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. I know I am. um, just to get out and do something fun. Um, I hope everybody has a safe weekend. And I'm just going to show you this, and then I'm going to also put her information on the community wall. She makes a lot of different like containers with plastic. Very nice. You can put like your earrings, or she also makes ashtrays. I don't know if you guys can see it. Going to dance. Nah, I ain't gonna dance. So she makes a lot of different things, and she make this really nice little vest. It's a vest that you can, put things in, and she made it out of plastic. Isn't that beautiful? Bright red. Then she has one right here. I'm going to put her information. Oh, she's still working. Okay, so I'm going to put her information um in my on my community wall, so that you can have her number if you decide that you would like to check her out. Very nice young lady, a good businesswoman, So I would like for you guys to check her out, give her some support. Same with Empress Lonnie One Love. She has the best body butters that you could ever use. Check out Empress Lonnie One Love body butters. I think I have her information. Hey, Thug Life, how are you, sweetie? I have her information in my community wall. So yeah, I love you guys. I don't have to know you to love you. Love you to Reese's Pieces. Y'all stay blessed. And hopefully I will stay out of trouble. Y'all have a blessed night. A blessed afternoon. Sorry. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.